Now, our next guest is a force in the food scene. She was recently awarded by DTI with the 2025 Food Philippines Advocates Par Excellence. Now, after 2 decades of championing Filipino cuisine on the global stage, she joins us once again to talk about the future of promoting Filipino flavors to the world. Writer and community advocate Raine Cabral in What's Cooking. It's our most delicious segment, A Beautiful Day, Raine Cabral. Thank you so much for coming back on the show.
Yes, welcome back.
Thank you so much, Anne and Pao. And I miss Monique, actually.
No, we don't miss her. No, it's okay.
No. But yeah. Monique saying hi to you guys. But no, thank you so much for having me back,
Of
actually.
course.
Yeah.
No, it's always great. Now, first of all, congratulations on
Thank
being
you.
named being awarded by DTI for the 2025 Food Philippines Advocate Par Excellence. So let's talk a bit more about that. You know,
Yeah.
when you were found out you were going to win it, it feels like it's a vindication for all the work that you've done for the
Yeah.
past few decades.
Yeah, actually, great point. It's DTI, actually, their export arm is called SkyCable. So that's our essentially lahat ng quality products for food and manufacturing, design. So they're the ones who actually host IFEX and Manila Fame. So when SkyCable reached out and basically expressed their interest in the work that I've been doing for decades, I actually felt seen. Alam mo yun, and I didn't expect that level of, I guess, validation in a way, external validation, because the work continues. I've been in community media and really supporting Filipinos in Australia, and I love telling Filipino stories of positivity and hope. So ganun talaga yung parang mindset ko the entire time. So it's a great honor. But essentially, and I always say this, with or without the work, when you love what you do, you'll do it regardless. So masaya lang, parang cherry on top siya, for sure.
So congratulations,
Thank you.
well-deserved award, for highlighting Filipino cuisine and bringing it to the global stage. Now, you mentioned DTI, you're working with DTI.
Yeah,
correct?
with
Yes.
SkyCable. So as I mentioned, they're the exporting arm. This is, for me, parang, and this is, as I've said, this is a personal opinion, but more of a mission, really. Kasi Filipinos were so fond of patronizing or importing quality products from overseas, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? Because if if people love it, there's a demand for it, businesses need to grow. But my point is, why are we not focusing on export quality products that can really raise our profile in the world? Kasi our wonderful resource, the main thing that we really have is our people. So essentially, from, I guess, the time when Manuel L. Quezon said that they really want Filipinos run by Filipinos, going back to history, and we coined the term Bagong Bayani, wherein it's our OFWs who really keep our economy afloat with remittances and things like that. And I said, there's nothing wrong with that, but why don't we develop our local manufacturers so that we can then give back to our farmers and create a very robust supply chain.
Yeah.
And the only way to do that now, especially with this food scene that we have, is we have an army of Filipino chefs around the world really focusing on our roots. So nagluluto na yung mga Filipino, second generation migrants ng Filipino food equated with localized flavors in that country.
Yeah. Sinasabi nga nila that yung pagkain is a bridge back to home.
Yes,
Right?
correct.
And when we talk about food worldwide, there is a project that you're working on, if I'm not mistaken, itong Master Plan Global.
Yes.
Now, it plans to bridge Filipino food to Australia, which you feel is one of the countries most appreciative of Filipino
Right
food.
now, kasi syempre, I now consider Australia my second home. Philippines will always be, we are all Filipinos regardless of where we are. But Australia has, especially Melbourne, the food scene is
Ano ba yung
insane.
accent? Sorry. Nagulat ako.
Melbourne.
Biglang naging
No,
ano,
no.
yes.
Code switch is
Okay,
real,
okay.
guys.
Oh,
Code
oh,
switch.
oh.
Yes,
Talk
yes.
to me. It's really fun. But no, I really made it a conscious effort. I'm only
Yeah.
here for 3 days, and I said, you know what? Up until I was 20, I'm a small town girl from Naga. So my Tagalog talaga is not that great, pero it's it's who I am. And then because I spent 20 years na in Melbourne, and if you talk to me, my husband talks to me, my kids talk to me, it's different eh. Like you code switch. But yes.
Yeah, no,
ganon.
my favorite part of talking to Australians or people with Australian accents is asking them to say the word 14.
14?
14
Why? How
and
do
there's
they say it?
14.
Foreign.
There you go. So,
Okay.
iba eh. Sorry, ibang-iba.
Wow, come to Melbourne.
No, no,
I will
no.
bring the
Gosh.
show. We'll
I'm
bring
gonna
the show
have
to
a hard
Melbourne.
time.
We're gonna have a hard time
No,
with that.
it's-
Okay,
it's
wait.
weird, yes.
Balik muna tayo. Focus muna tayo sa
Okay,
pagkain.
pagkain,
Focus muna tayo sa
game.
pagkain. Okay, first of all, you're exporting. And
Yes.
with DTI's help, you're helping export Filipino
Yeah.
goods. How difficult is that considering yung global climate natin, ibang-iba? You
Yeah.
have Trump's tariffs, you have all of the movement being really monitored worldwide. It feels like the rates shipping internationally just change almost on a weekly basis. Kaya, is this a big challenge for you?
I think it is a bigger challenge, but I think Master Plan's role is really connecting producers with markets overseas. And I have really great partners and distributors who've been doing, the work. So I think the value add or the competitive advantage that we have is there's a real focus now on, because you mentioned a really great point there, Pao, that there is a huge focus now on the Australian market or the Oceania market because of the little bit of uncertainty when it comes to the US market now because of the ever-changing numbers there. The way that I see it though is work with experts, work with partners who do know what they're doing. And I guess the competitive advantage that we can put in is we can really link direct through Saitem direct to the manufacturers. And then you can then adjust prices accordingly and see where margins are there. Because sometimes it's really just presence. You start with presence and you build demand through that. And the way to do that is to always localize Filipino flavors. Rather than, because I was thinking about this pretty much when we were doing IFEX na sometimes, when we do our campaigns and our tourism campaigns, people would have to spend their airfare, their accommodation, tour guide to go to the Philippines. And there's nothing wrong with that. But Pao, you made a really good point na what if for those who don't have, that disposable income to travel? So why don't we bring the Philippines to them one plate at a time? And then you can start that journey and create that ecosystem.
Anne, I think you'd like this next one because minsan sinasabi natin, when you talk about certain Asian food, let's say Korean or even Vietnamese, it's so healthy.
Yes.
But the storytelling aspect, I feel, and especially
food
yung,
always tells
yung
a
description,
story.
yung
right?
description ng Filipino food has
Every
not
cuisine tells a story.
It hasn't necessarily been healthy, diba? Kapag pinag-uusapan natin Filipino food.
What's the story, Raine, that could be told about Filipino food to capture certain markets?
I think one of the things that Australia is really good at is provenance of certain products. So parang, sorry.
I just love listening to you. I'm just gonna sit here and listen to you talk. I love the accent.
So, we have this place like Tamar Valley region or places like that. So if we've done a really good thing like Guimaras mangoes. So do you know that Guimaras mangoes, no one can call any other mango similar to champagne. That when you make that certain product, ganun siya. So we need to establish yung parang farm to table provenance of our food. So then when people go back into it, they'd know na okay, these mangoes are from Guimaras. So you go back to the local suppliers. So I think that's one of the things that we can parang create that story in a way for people.
Since you started Master Plan Global, what have been your proudest milestones mo so far?
I think the proudest milestones is really getting the support of the chefs to localize Filipino flavors. So there's a few things, and one of the really great mentors, and I always say this, great mentors that I have are Wars C and Chef Jack and Chef Lau Dico, kasi they're like, for me, they've been the pillars of Filipino cuisine. He's been doing it for close to like 20 years talaga. And I'm just really grateful that there are opportunities for us to work together. Kasi for me, it's all about learning and growing. And even today, nga guys, if you're free, come to Guevara's, because Chef Jack and Lau are hosting Chef Dabo of Naima's Cafe in Dubai. So we actually have an event today with them as well. So ganon. So it's Filipino food is global. Filipino food doesn't need to be elevated. Filipino food just needs to be served to the right people with the right story. And kailangan masarap lang siya. Yun.
Actually, gusto ko yun eh. It doesn't need to be elevated. Kasi minsan, sinasabi ng mga ibang tao, kailangan natin i-elevate para i-suit sa foreign palate. Is that something you disagree with?
I disagree with that, and I am quoting Chef Lau here heavily. As long as you stay true to the flavor profile of the food, you can call it Filipino. So Adobro's Chef Morris has done that really well, that he made like a nudie tinola, which is like, it's tinola flavor, but it's this from this region in Italy na wala siyang pasta in itself, like it's a naked pasta. So he's done things like that. So I feel that it's a polarizing opinion siguro, Pao. Pero I think that Filipino food in itself is great. It's how you explain and educate the people around you. Because when we do our supper clubs, our market is multicultural. And you know, when we did adobo chocolate dessert, adobo as a dessert, I should say, that also, you know, people would understand that better, and take away your misconceptions about food. Yun lang yun. Don't come in with an open mind all the time. Para ganon, like in life, no expectations, just open up your heart and then it will rate.
So a while ago, you told us that Australia is one of the countries that really appreciate Filipino food. So from what you've observed, do these foreigners appreciate the simpler version of our food more than the fusion or elevated version of the Filipino dishes?
Or more complex.
More complex. Well, Melbourne ang masaya sa Melbourne kasi is madaming, like you can get Filipino food at any price point. There is like Inasal Express that does like their you know, parang to go casual dining. There's Sarai, who Gordon Ramsay, like Ross Magnaye, who was recently here for International Food Festival. And then there's also essentially Askal and Palay. So I feel that it's more of, in today's economy, one price point. That is a factor, as much as we want to say it or not, with interest rates and mortgages really going up. So it's price point and relatability of the food. So in a way, parang there's still home-style cooking, but then there's also what you mentioned there, Pao, na mas complex flavors in a way. So it's more on, you choose your audience and your market. And what's great about Melbourne is it's welcoming you at any price point.
You know, we're running out of time, but before we throw our last question, what are your plans for Master Plan Global? What's next on the horizon for you?
I think we're just continuing. We're fully booked till, we're talking 2026 now.
Wow,
so,
sarap maging busy.
Wow, sarap.
And I just feel so blessed that there's so much support. I feel that, you know, when you go out on your own, you get people who would know you one way. Tapos when you're evolving, some people want to clip your wings and don't understand. And there's other people who just say, fly girl, you know? And I'm just really I feel so supported that there are people to say na you can transform. Because in helping others, you transform lives, and the journey always continues. So we're all evolving, we're all growing, and life isn't a competition. And that's what I like actually about you guys, na chill lang, relax, masaya lang. Life's too short for drama.
We're just really chill on this show.
Sobrang chill. Minsan nga nalilate.
Ay,
But of course,
we're not talking about that now. Ano yan? Ano ba? Nilaglag.
all right. So before we let you go,
Yes, Raine, the
Yes.
show is called Beautiful Day. What makes your day beautiful?
I think it's my faith and my family.
Ah.
I wouldn't be here today if not for them. And my story is a typical migrant story of just really never giving up and approaching life with a grateful heart. So maraming salamat sa inyo guys. Really.
Raine, really appreciate you. That was beautiful, and of course, we cannot wait to go to Melbourne. Actually, we're now
Melbourne.
gunning for to do our first international live show.
Yes.
Sa
Guys,
Melbourne.
Beautiful
We're
day in
moving it
Melbourne.
up. I have a
Yeah.
studio na for you.
Guys,
Oh my
My
gosh.
studio
Let's
na.
do
Make it
this.
happen.
Let's make this
Guys,
happen.
Oh my
literally,
gosh.
it's at the
Yeah.
Ritz-Carlton precinct.
So Ritz-Carlton pa.
I have, guys, note this. It's
Uh-oh.
happening. We're gonna talk offline. Producers.
Oh my
Okay,
gosh.
okay,
We gotta
okay.
make this happen. We gotta manifest
I'm
it,
checking
pal.
what time it's in Melbourne. Oh, it's not bad a time. It will
No,
only be like
walang jet lag.
the show is 9 a.m. in Melbourne. So
Yeah.
yes, kaya to. Okay.
Kaya to.
Okay.
Sinong sasama? Sir, yes.
Ay,
Okay.
si Derek sasama din.
Direct Gary,
Oo.
everyone, our whole team, we
Yeah.
gotta get our papers
No,
No,
ready.
pumili na tayo na hindi pupunta.
Yung ganon.
Oo.
Hindi, pero honest guys, come in March. It's Melbourne Food and Wine next year. So it would be great. And I really, ganon, you're more than welcome.
Thank you so much. I mean, we have to go now.
Yes.
Unfortunately, na-excite po kami.
Oo,
We're getting our
yes.
visas
Sorry
ready now.
naman.
Thank you so much for your time. Again, Filipino food advocate, Raine Cabral.
Thank you guys, Raine Cabral, at maraming salamat sa inyo guys. Salamat.
All right, so that's a wrap on our show.